wherever you are. The recording is now in progress. So we're here to celebrate our annual meeting, another year of phenomenal success at Wings, and now joining us a new direction and more success as part of Wings. And so we're so happy to have you all here tonight. And what you're going to hear tonight are the accomplishments of the past year of our strategic plan. We are now entering year three of our strategic plan, and what has been accomplished in the first 2 years is absolutely phenomenal. But before I turn the microphone over to our phenomenal, I use that word a lot, Elaine Sambo right there because she is phenomenal, I would like for us to just take one moment to have a moment of silence. October 7th was a horrific day for people who were attacked by the terrorists in barbaric ways. And since that time, there's been a massive loss of civilian lives and innocent lives. So I think we'd be remiss if we didn't honor that and recognize that. If we could just do that for just a moment. Thank you. And I know I speak for all of us that we pray for peace swiftly and that those hostages are released swiftly. And please keep in your thoughts and your prayers everyone in the Wings family who has been directly impacted by all of this. We all work day in and day out to stop violence and keep it from happening. And there's absolutely no room for this type of violence in the world. So before we go talk about all of our great accomplishments, just remember to keep all of those people in your thoughts and prayers. Thank you. Elaine? I didn't teach her how to.
Yeah. Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here. At least it's not a Halloween night, right? With the snow and the cold, and I think we got up to 50 today, so it's so nice to see everyone. Thanks for spending your evening with us. Rebecca said that, well, first of all, phenomenal. Phenomenal is a word that should be used in the Wings family. There's a lot to be proud about over the last year. There are a lot of phenomenal things going on because we have phenomenal people, and there's a lot of those phenomenal people in this room. So thanks again for being here. As we continue to grow this past year with more apartments and more services, staff, board, councils, and volunteers accomplished all of this through the lens of our newly established core values. Tonight, you will hear from our executive team about all of the accomplishments that have been achieved over the 3-year strategic plan. Excellence. In the creation of this plan, board and staff emphasize the importance of maintaining excellence in every area: program, fiscal, facilities, and talent. Each board committee supported the staff to make this goal a reality. It was important to maintain excellence in our current footprint as we expanded. Teamwork. The level of interdependence that it takes to accomplish the amazing goals that were attained cannot be understated. Each team across Wings worked hard to achieve collective goals of record numbers of nights of shelter, expanding programs and services, increasing donors, and hitting record resale revenues. Through all of it, ensuring that client care was the paramount to everything. Caring. LaTanya tells impactful stories of the success of our clients. When she tells these stories, she's so, it's even that much more impactful just because of the way she tells them. This success does not happen by accident. It takes immense caring for our families and what they have endured. It also includes caring for each other as staff in the community, caring for the work we do. With so much pain in the world, caring for each other is so important. Flexibility. One of the most important characteristics of Wings is flexibility. When opportunities arise, the Wings team is able and willing to flex to take advantage of those opportunities to help more families. This was so evident in the pivoting during COVID. Do you remember that? How much we had to pivot during COVID? And every day since in every department, expanding housing, expanding boards and councils, exploring new territories and geographical expansion. Respect. The last core value is respect, the due regard for the feelings, wishes, rights, or traditions of others. It is an aspiration for all of us, especially in light of world events. Dedication and determination, 2 words to describe the past year and our steadfast donors and hardworking staff. Following the 3-year strategic plan, Wings continue to add more apartments in the city and in the suburbs, increasing nights of shelter 65% year over year. The program team continued to grow programs such as the Survivor Lifeline Mentoring Program and expanded into the Beverly area with a partnership with A New Direction. Everyone across the organization participated in advocacy efforts that resulted in historic increases in city and state funding. I've never seen anything like it. Rebecca and her executive team just make it look so easy. The operations team continued to improve facilities with upgrades in many areas to ensure we maintain excellence in our homes, apartments, stores, and offices, while also driving resale revenues to their highest levels ever. The administrative team took on many new initiatives to drive greater efficiencies in all areas of finance, HR, and agency administration while managing over 30 new government grants with strict compliance issues. The team also brought back the volunteers post-pandemic and continues to recruit and engage more volunteers. The development team engaged existing donors and acquired more through many appeals and events. Thank you to the staff and board of directors. Special thanks to those who served on our board of directors as well as on the executive committee this past year. Matt Bowman, immediate past president. Bill Shannon, treasurer. Carol Lundahl, secretary. Carol. Oh, there you are. Rebecca Hoffman, she is our former secretary. John Shakota of council. Victoria Watkins, VP of advocacy. Debbie Jackson, VP board development. Ken Gorman, VP operations. Jay Marcus, VP personnel. Kelly Miller, VP philanthropy. Dr. Elgene Garner, VP program. And Sunita Chamarti, VP strategy. Special thanks to new members who joined the board since last annual meeting. We have one of our graduates, Maudel Gaines. Bill Jackson and Jill Zweigbaum. And just joining our board as of tonight, we have Katie Durant. I know she's here. There you are, Katie. Thank you. And Wanda McKinney. Thank you. I don't know if she's on the screen. I think she is. And a huge welcome to the North Shore Leadership Council and National Leadership Council this year. We continue to grow. Everybody that is involved, I mean, truly, everybody rolls their sleeves up and gets their hands dirty. And it's just such a pleasure to serve alongside all of you. So thank you again for all that you do. Thank you for being here tonight. And I will turn it over to Rebecca.
So just as a fair warning, that if you get involved with Wings, you're going to get really busy. We do a lot of things, and there's not. I got a phone. Where do we go? It's like the microphone up and down, right? It's just different. It just the 3-year strategic plan was a very aggressive plan that we set forth to be able to grow the organization to a completely new level. And we have 8 board committees, and we have staff liaisons to each of those board committees. I have 4 of them. And I have to tell you, it is unbelievable. The committees and people come in and out based on their availability, and that's fine. We get the work done. And they support the work that the staff who are on the ground level doing the hard work of direct service with clients day in and day out and helping them lift them up and out of domestic violence and on to happy and healthy lives. It takes a strategy and it takes a lot of organization at the board and staff level. And so our strategy committee takes that job very seriously. So they are tasked with owning that 40-page document that outlines all of the activities and goals for year 1, year 2, year 3, and what are we going to do for year 4 and year 5, and how do we pivot when we need to pivot, and how do we make this all come together? How do we find the resources for our staff to do the very important work that they're trying to do? So that committee works frequently and meets with me and supports me on making sure that each of the committees and the staff have what they need to do the job that's in their part of the strategic plan. So I really appreciate that, because strategy, people say, yeah, that's a great strategy, but it's never going to work. And like, okay, well, I guess we'll have to prove to you that it's going to work. And then we have to go and do that. And that's what the board and the committees and the staff do day in and day out. So I'm really proud of the work that that committee has done. I'm proud of the work that the philanthropy committee has done. This last year was a lot of developing a new development plan, a new integrated marketing plan. Their activities included hiring a media and communications manager, and Sarah's sitting right in front of us. And she finally got to get started on September 1st. So a big part of what that committee is going to do is help us elevate the brand of Wings, not just in the Chicagoland region, but nationwide. And so we're really excited about our expansion into Nashville and Florida and ultimately New York and California and Texas and other places where we know we are intending to go. But we also knew that we needed to look at other ways to grow our revenue. So one of the activities that this committee, the philanthropy committee, was tasked with was preparing us for the launch of a new campaign. And we are, as we go into year 3, we'll be launching our new Spreading Our Wings campaign. And the committee's been very, very helpful. And I want to thank Kelly Miller, where are you, for leading that committee and helping me with that. So we have great momentum, a lot of great ideas in terms of expansion, in terms of ways to attract non-cash assets. And the committee is really tasked on this. The other big piece that this committee is responsible for is our events. And so we have added events, and I saw some of our North Shore Leadership Council people come in who chair the North Shore Ladies Luncheon, which was a new event last year, 2 years ago, and last year they raised even more money. So expanding our footprint, which is what our board development is tasked with, is expanding our board and expanding our councils. You know, I mentioned a new direction. When we partnered with a New Direction last year and they became a part of the Wings family, they launched a New Direction Leadership Council. We have some of our members from there, raise your hands, who implemented their new purple title. Current fiscal year, but he still call me out on that. But it's exciting because it's allowing us to expand our fundraising reach by having more councils who support the work that we do. And we're going to continue to do that. And then, which committee did I forget? Advocacy, thank you. I forget advocacy, as Elaine mentioned. In the previous fiscal year, we had gotten the city of Chicago to increase the advocacy committee, led the charge with leadership from Latanya and other staff and other organizations that we partner with. The city increased their line item for domestic violence by $25 million. That was historic. We followed that with a $50 million increase at the state level. We have maintained those levels. And what that means is that through our advocacy efforts, we can help more and more people at the city level, at the state level, and ultimately at the federal level. When you hear from Latanya, she'll talk about what the program committee is doing in terms of utilizing those dollars to expand our footprint every area. And what really astonishes me is, and it makes me proud, is that we have expertise in so many areas. When we're going to Nashville, we're going to these other places, there's so many things, so many areas of expertise we can take to those geographical locations that doesn't exist there. So I'm really proud of all of you for the work that you've done. I'm proud of the committees. I am honored to get to be the leader of all of these efforts. Although it's tiring some days, it's all worth it in the end of the day. So I want to bring up our phenomenal Chief Program Officer, Latanya Walker.
Let's go. All right, I'm gonna let you guys know there's a lot of pressure, especially on the stories. So I hope that that I can come through for you guys. So I'm Latanya. Oh, okay. All righty. I'm Latanya. I serve as your Chief Program Officer here at Wings. And I just kind of want to go over a little bit about some of our accomplishments for last year that we should be extremely proud of, because everyone in this room, everyone that's joining us online took part in making these things happen. And so over last year, fiscal year FY23, we served 727 adults, 492 children, which was a total of about 1,219 survivors and an increase of 24% over the previous fiscal year. And we could not do that without all of our staff and all of your support. In addition to that, we hit 92,960 nights of shelter. Now, I always say every year that this is a sad thing for me because we shouldn't have to do this, right? But it is a proud thing because we are a place that people feel safe and that people can come to in order to find some type of solace. The other thing that we should be proud of is that 99% of the survivors that we served last year in our housing programs did not return to an abusive relationship. That is something to be extremely, extremely, extremely proud of. The other thing that I think that we should be really proud of is that we have survivors who come back. And not come back because I need services, but come back to serve and come back to give us updates on what's happening in their lives. And it just feels really great for the staff to be able to hear that something that they said and some of those contributions were meaningful to people in their lives. I have to look at Denise because she's my timekeeper. And I know I'm not looking over here. And so she, in a second, she's gonna be like, wait a minute. The other thing that we accomplished last year is that we really grew our community-based services program. So our counseling program, our hospital program, and our Survivor Lifeline program grew by 85%. So an 85% increase from the previous year. And then the last thing I think I want to point out briefly is, we talk a lot about a new direction. And I will tell you that when we first started this venture of a new direction, and I talked to Rita, I was like, why you have clients for so long? Like, why, what are we doing? Are we enabling people? What's going on? And I'm really proud. Erica and I have been talking. And one of the things that I really appreciate about a new direction is the reason is that people feel safe enough. And I think that's a true testament to being a part of the community and being a staple of the community, that if I need something, I know where to go. And I know that I'm not going to be judged about it. And I know that people aren't going to think that, I'm a failure because of it. And we also have to recognize that there are so many hurdles when we're trying to leave abusive relationships. And so hats off to a new direction. I'm really, really proud of the work that New Direction has been able to do. Rita is a part-time staff, right? But she served 57 individuals last year. And this is 57 in an ongoing basis. When I've had conversations with Rita, it's not just like, let me do your intake and here's some housing referrals and you're gone. We're talking people who are experiencing lots of legal issues, lots of things with child support. And so to be able to stand there beside them and to have the resources that she has in legal representation is phenomenal. The other thing that we did last year it last year? It was last year into this year, is that we had this phenomenal opportunity with this additional with the additional DHS dollars. And so the staff got a chance to go shopping. You have never seen people who want to shop like this. Let me tell you, Amazon was busy until 11:59, right? But we were able to get kits for clients who were moving out of shelter into their own unit, and they got starter kits. And so people weren't moving into a unit all by themselves with nothing. They were able to go in with some type of the needed items, basic things, garbage cans, a lamp, a microwave. And so we're really proud of those things. In addition to that, we were able to add to our new Foglia Family Resource Center. And so the Foglia Family Resource Center is our new state-of-the-art center where we will be offering counseling services to children, teens, and adults in the community. And we haven't been able to do that for a very long time. One of the things that we know is that we serve people in shelter, and then when they leave, it's sort of like those support services just end. And now we're able to continue those services, and we're able to have people who might not necessarily need the housing services to come in and obtain those services. So we're really proud of that. It's gonna be opening soon. We're kind of soft opening now, but we're really excited about that. I'm really proud of the staff and the work they've done to get things started and to get it furnished. Denise, you're not giving me a time. Oh, okay. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, and then so it's interesting that we, when Rebecca, we talk about wings and all these things about flying. And so one of the slides that I had was called "Soaring to Heights of Great Attainment." And so I love that we don't talk about these things, but we kind of have these themes. And as we move into FY24, some of the things that you're going to see from us is this Foglia Family Counseling Center, where we're going to be able to provide services to adults. We're going to provide services to teens. We're going to provide services to children. We're going to have a meditation room. We have bright, lovely colors for the kids. There are all these different types of seats. Some of them are so little and they're cute. But a lot of it is really therapeutic, right? And so we've been able to add in seating for, kids who might have sensory issues. And, we're going to add in some art therapy that's going to happen. And so we're really, really excited about that. We have new staff that have started. We have our newest counselor started 2 days ago. So we're really excited about that. The other thing is that we can't stop growing. And so we will also be adding new apartment units for our transitional housing. We're going to have 5 under one grant. We're going to have 13 under another grant. The city of Chicago, thank you, Carlene, is going to be taking on 10 new permanent supportive housing units. And we know that our survivors need this. And so as much work as it is and as hard as it is, I'm almost a yes to any housing opportunity that we have so that we don't have survivors who have barriers to housing and returning to an abusive relationship. The other thing I think I want to share with you, story time, is, when we talk about all of the work that we do and how that kind of correlates, the Wings team is phenomenal. So I have to honor the team that we have. Everyone on our team works their behinds off, and they do it gracefully. It's stressful, but you do it gracefully. I really appreciate you. I have been there. I have done that. That's why I admire you so much, because I know how hard the work is. And with that, we work together as a team. And so we had a client who was in our shelter, and she went into labor while she was in the shelter. She goes to the hospital, and when she gets to the hospital, who is she greeted by? Well, the wing staff, who is there to ask her what kind of needs she has. And so she's like, I need some baby clothes and I need a car seat. How am I going to get back to the shelter? And then at that same time, a wing social worker comes up to talk to her. And so now she has the support of her case manager and her children's advocate back at the shelter, but that's followed her into this hospital setting for her to, experience childbirth and to have the support and have some consistent support with wings. Oh, someone, were you telling me that was my time? I think that's what it was. And so, I mean, to watch the wraparound services in that was really great because we had someone who didn't have to start all over again. I don't have to tell my story all over again. I don't have to get to know this new agency and do this new intake. And she was able to come back to the shelter, finish up her stay, and is currently residing in rapid rehousing. And so when we talk about that continuation of services, that's what we mean. And when we talk about that networking and the teamwork, those are all the things that contribute to the success of survivors throughout the area. Thank you. Oh, and next we have Denise Urban, our Executive Vice President and CPO. I don't know. I can't do that. I can't do yours either.
No. I cannot do that. Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm going to spend a little time talking about finance. Don't everyone groan at once. No numbers, really. Well, a few. And then IT and a little bit about HR. So I oversee the administrative team, which is a little bit of a mishmash of different people with different roles, different tasks. But at the end of the day, we're all part of customer service for the rest of the Wings agency. So without us, they couldn't do what they do. But without them, we would have no purpose. So it's a very close, good relationship there. So finance, our charge is to maintain excellence. I have a phenomenal board committee and I have amazing staff that help us do that. We undertook several process improvements in the past year, including creating a new time and effort workbook process to help streamline our billing. In the past, each of our grants would have a separate billing spreadsheet, billing computations, and then when we would get audited, we would have to prove that we weren't double dipping and everyone was billed where they were supposed to be. So we automated the process. We pull data from 2 separate systems automatically. It creates one big billing document that we can use for personnel and fringe, and it has really been a huge time saver. We've also moved all of our corporate credit cards to a new paperless platform, which all of those folks with corporate credit cards, I think, appreciate because there's no more running paper around for our approvals. Some big news is our overall fiscal management allowed us to add $150,000 to our operating reserve. It's been a minute since we were able to add our own funds to that reserve bucket, but we have now exceeded our goal of having 1.2 million in our operating reserves, which is huge. When you're reliant on the kindness of others, whether it's government or donors, that can dry up. People move, government changes their flavor of the year. So having those funds gives us independence that if something happens, we have the time to cover our costs and then pivot to replace those funds. We also got a general revenue grant from the state of Illinois that we weren't expecting, $550,000. So we were very creative. We were basically told, spend it on anything but a trip to Vegas. So we did. We were able to buy 2, no, we didn't go to Vegas, but we did everything else that we could do other than go to Vegas. So we bought 2 new trucks for our resale team. We used some of the funds to repay ourselves some interest on some internal borrowing that we did. And we were able to add to our capital reserve bucket, as well as set up a new reserve for our clients. We were able to put $50,000 aside to help with things that grants just won't cover. Maybe it's paying off some debt or getting a car repaired so that we can help them get on their feet. The administrative team led the securing of the additional 1.4 million that many of you heard about already. LaTanya talked about it. Our board has heard about it extensively. So thanks to Tisha, our grant writer, she has spearheaded the campaign to get that additional funds. I think we started at 800 and then we were at 1 million. And then it was like, finally, well, how much will you give us? We'll figure out how to spend it. And then we acted as the air traffic control center to make sure all those funds got spent. We had 60 days to spend $1.4 million, which it's actually hard if you're not buying airplanes and houses, if you're just buying, you know, diapers and that type of thing. But we also had to manage all that cash flow. The state didn't hand us a check for 1.4 million and then you go spend it. No, we had to go spend it and then get reimbursed. So we had to be creative with how we used those reserve funds temporarily and then repaid ourselves once we got the reimbursement from the state. We also secured and oversaw the first supportive housing grant from the state of Illinois, and the rollout of the first suburban rapid rehousing grant from HUD, along with all of the federal funding to do the build out for that Foglia Family Resource Center that you guys have already heard about. So thank you to my finance and government grant team, and my data management team, Barb, Tisha, Lynette, and Lindy, who I believe are on the screen. We also had a big year for IT. IT doesn't have a home really on the board, but we do have ad hoc committees. People step up to help us when we need. Right now, Kelly Miller is helping us out with an initiative, as well as Sunitha. But we finally hired a 100% in-house dedicated IT coordinator. And when you have over 130 employees and all of the devices that go with that, the phones, the computers, and everything else, along with all the security cameras, the printers, et cetera, even though we have an MSP, we need an in-house person to kind of traffic all of that. So that was huge for us to bring that person on. And we also started the process of moving away from a server box in the closet. We are moving towards 100% cloud computing, and our primary storage and backups and domain controls are now all in the cloud. So we are this close. This close to shutting down the box in the closet, which is very exciting for us. The other area I'm very involved with is personnel. And again, with that, we're tasked with maintaining excellence. I do work with a personnel committee of the board who's been very helpful in supporting our initiatives, great group to bounce ideas off of, and then provide expertise because it's an area we don't have a high level of in-house expertise at the moment. We completed our biannual compensation review, which resulted in a structural 9% increase to our pay grade structure. We had several staff regraded, several staff received market adjustments, but the big news out of that was that we completely restructured our retail staff and how they're paid. So that was big to get us more market comparable and set us up for the future. We also have an internal DEI stakeholder team. So there's 8 staff who serve with the executive team to look at diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives for Wings. So we completed our strategy set with an outside consultant and started the process of putting together a survey that's going to be going out hopefully next week to all our staff to learn how are we doing? Is Wings an equitable and inclusive place to work? And how are we doing as management in furthering the mission of Wings? We also did numerous process updates and improvement, including hiring, onboarding, and corrective action. I also have the pleasure of working with an in-house committee called the Benefits Committee. It grew out of bringing a group of staff together to look at the benefits we offer Wings. And they took wellness under their wing. So they host several events throughout the year. So we hosted our first annual Wings Do-It-Yourself Ice Cream Social, where all the fixings were delivered to our various locations to provide an opportunity for team building. Take a break from work and visit with your coworkers while enjoying some ice cream. We also host a January Wellness Challenge, but our flagstone thing we do is a Mental Health Awareness Month every May, along with employee thank yous throughout the year. We also have been working on rolling out our core values, which Elaine opened with earlier. We managed 59 employee moves. So we had 40 people hired. We added quite a few positions, about 15 of those were new positions just in this last year. We also upgraded our 40-hour training. So for staff to work directly with survivors, you have to sit through a 40-hour training program. So our manager of volunteer services has been working on upgrading that program. 20 hours of interactive video on several modules was recorded. So that's going to streamline and speed up our ability to get people trained, both volunteers and staff, so they can work with our clients. And we also managed over 2,500 volunteers across the course of the year, 56,000 hours of service, which is huge because we'd have to pay for all that if we didn't have people help us out of the kindness of their hearts. So I thank Judy and Bruna and Michaela, who I think are all on screen, for their work as part of our personnel team. Thank you all for all of your support. I know administration is not the most exciting thing that we do here at Wings, but we're very proud of what we do. And we like to think that we have a little hand in helping serve all of those clients. I think at this point, I'm turning it over to David Kagan.
highlight. We're in sync. So I'm going to try to change the view here to David. David, can you talk?
Yeah, I can talk. I'm ready.
There we go. There's David. So as you can see, it takes the interdependence of all these departments to make everything come together. So David oversees resale and facilities as the COO, and the amount of work they do is phenomenal. That's the word of the day, phenomenal. So take it away, Dave.
All right, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm glad everyone can hear me. I'm going to go pretty fast. I'm going to start with resale, the resale team. Total revenue for fiscal year 23 was $2.7 million. And this represented a year-over-year 11% increase in revenue. That's the highest amount ever in Wings history. We're very proud of that. We're encouraged by our ability to just constantly increase foot traffic at all of our stores, Schaumburg, Arlington Heights, Niles, and Chicago. I really think our progress is based on the incredible efforts and commitment by the entire staff, just dedicated associates and volunteers, within the stores, logistics center, the warehouse, our transportation team. I just want to thank the entire team for their combined teamwork. Their ability to process donations, all the merchandise that comes in, and also provide world-class service is so appreciated. We work 7 days a week in resale to make sure that this happens, and just an incredible crew that I cannot thank enough. And some of the accomplishments at a very high level in resale. In the past year, we converted to a new point of sale cloud-based system. That's no easy task to do in mid-year. Arlington Heights is a resale superstar. Just one side note, I'm going to just fast forward. This past month, they did over 86,000 in sales. So the expansion really paid off. Niles Resale, we continue to look for ways to change. We've done a complete front and backroom store reconfiguration. 63rd Street Thrift in the city. They're just an amazing store, 4,300 square feet. They make every inch count. We look forward to a targeted social media strategy to continue to bring new customers in that store. And Schaumburg Resale, they just continue to be a furniture and housewares machine. One of the things I don't talk about enough briefly is, our success is a lot of the great donations in the back, but we also have some just great supply chain partners. In the last year, we received donations from Walmart, Amazon, Brighton Collectibles, Rivers Casino, Claire's, Sleep Number, just amazing. And finally, in resale, in the past year, the resale, logistics, transportation, and programs, they just continue to work so collaboratively to meet the needs of our clients. We don't say this enough, but several clients, come to the Safe Home needing everything. Within 2 hours, they have an entire wardrobe. Many of the transitional clients come to shop. In fact, one came in today that's moving in, just moved in an apartment in Des Plaines, and they picked out 6 pieces of furniture today, and tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, it'll be delivered to their home. And that's just, great teamwork, with LaTanya's team, the resale team. That's probably the most, fun part of our job is to deliver product. And by the way, one of the couches that was selected was actually dropped off this morning. So it was donated and a client already will have it in their place tomorrow morning. I'm going to just switch to facility operations real quick. And I think that everyone that knows in operations, our whole goal is to create world-class facilities with the focus on safety and security. We want to take care of all the people that take care of the people. We take pride in that. Thanks to the grant team. Again, I know we talked about the DHS grant, but there's other grants we received too that help. And I'll just give a real quick rundown in the last year, what we've done. Primarily the Safe Home I'll stick to. We installed 11 new furnaces and condensers, new commercial water heaters, new commercial stove, walk-in cooler freezer, all new components, new commercial kitchen flooring in both safe homes, new flooring in the dining rooms, a brand new playground surface and furniture for the suburban safe house, a new privacy fence, all new common area furniture, new TVs, and an IT segregation room. I'm really proud of that. Denise mentioned that we only had 2 months to spend and do that. I can't even tell you how all I just mentioned there was done in 2 months. And I cannot thank the Safe House staff enough for their flexibility during that time. In the coming year, I look forward to a couple things. We don't stop. We're doing a renovation of our Barrington house. We have a room separation project at the suburban safe house, along with a security fence we're hoping to complete by the end of next year. We're renovating one of our homes in Hanover Park, and we're doing a safe house basement renovation, both to create a little more space allocation for all the product that we have. And finally, our in-kind program, Tabitha's team, Tabitha's team, which is Tabitha pretty much, she does a phenomenal job providing needed items for program facilities. We keep talking about growth. Well, that has grown, and our area has to meet those needs on a daily basis. But in addition to that, I'll just, finalize, with this. Even with the events in the last year, we provided 220 backpacks for back to school, over 300 coats, and 80 families received Thanksgiving meals, 3,000 holiday gifts, 230 Easter baskets, and about 170 Mother's Day gifts. And again, I just want to finalize that I just want to thank all staff, all volunteers, all donors who are so dedicated to our mission. And I'm talking about all departments. I have to say I've never worked with such a dedicated staff throughout all wings. And I want to thank each and every one of you for your hard work 24/7. And I look forward to the coming year. Thank you so much.
Thank you, David.
So as you can see, a lot happened in a year. So now we come to the part of our annual meeting where we have to do our business part. And it's just as important because, as you know, all of this takes everyone to make it happen. But we need to do our re-election of our officers and our board term renewals. So Terry, if you wouldn't mind coming up. So I want to thank Don Hutchins and Terry Banich and Donna Swango for serving on our nominating committee this year. And they will be presenting the slate of officers for re-election and the board members who are up for re-election for their terms. So you wouldn't mind coming up here? Oh, I think you're doing the. So you need to come stand where they can see you. There you go.
I'm Paul. Let me keep this up. All right. Good evening, everyone. I'm happy to list the executive committee members that are up for re-election for a 2-year term. Rebecca Darr, President and CEO. Elaine Sambo-Rather, Chair. Matt Bowman, immediate past President. Bill Shannon, Treasurer. John Shakota of Council. Victoria Watkins, VP of Advocacy. Debbie Jackson, VP Board Development. Ken Gorman, VP Operations. Kelly Miller, VP Philanthropy. Dr. Aljean Garner, VP Program. Nice to see you. And lastly, Sunitha Chamarty, VP Strategy. And now I'll turn it over to Terry Banich. Oh, sorry. Can I get a motion to approve? Thank you, Jessica. And second? All right. Thank you. Caroline, is that it? Sorry, Carol. In favor? Sorry, this is not my forte. Okay. Thank you. Procedure. All right, now Terry. Thank you.
So just in time for the parliamentary procedure, call me boring lawyer. I have the honor to place the following names in nomination for re-election to the board. Matt Bauman, Janet Doyle, Sunitha Chamarty, Dr. Algene Garner, Ken Gorman, April Graves, Karen Gray Prebio, Terry Greeno, Donald Hutchins, Debbie Jackson, Nayaz Kabunika, Dr. Mia Lang, Jessa McCarahan, Kelly Miller, Tony Rivera, Judge Crystal Rivers, Trisha Rooney, Elaine Sambo Rather, John Chakota, Bill Shannon, Darla Swango, Jackie Tilton, Victoria Watkins, Yolanda Wilson Stubbs, and Jill Swagwell. May I have a motion to approve the election of these individuals?
That's Kaufman. That's
Kaufman.
Kaufman.
Okay, do I have a second? Oh, many
Carolyn
seconds. Okay. All in favor of election of these individuals to the board? Any opposed? The motion carries. Thank you. Parliamentary procedure.
Thank you both for being on the committee. So we have a great board, we have great councils, and we are only going to greater heights. So I cannot thank all of you for taking the time to come here tonight, to tune in virtually. It's just going to only get better. And what we're doing with that getting better is saving more and more and more lives. So domestic violence shouldn't exist. You've all heard me say this before, that our number one business goal is to be out of business. Because if domestic violence didn't exist, we wouldn't have to do all this hard work. But as long as it does, we're grateful to have such a great community, all of you, dedicated staff, dedicated board, dedicated councils, community members, donors, volunteers, to help us help each family get up and out of domestic violence. So there's a lot of food to eat, so please eat it, and a lot of drinks to drink, but don't drink too much if you're driving. But thank you for being here tonight. It's always special to be in person again. Thank you. And to all of you online, thank you for being here. Oh, we do want to take pictures of board members, council members, staff members. So Nancy Ferris, how do you want to coordinate that? All right.